Hello and welcome to another episode of Kingdom News. I am your host, Gwen Goolsby Tillery. Excited that you decided to join me again for another episode of Kingdom Spotlight on this Saturday morning. I have a special guest with me this week, and her name is Jessica Toddle. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. My pleasure. So, Jessica, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I am a wife and a mother of three beautiful children. My background is, I would say that I did not complete college. I wouldn't say I'm a college dropout, but I didn't complete college. But this opportunity came to me from a referral from Miss Monique Grant to Miss Tiffany Bell. And Miss Tiffany Bell had an amazing mission, and I had to be a part. I absolutely had to be a part. So, thanks for having
Okay, so you started telling me about yourself. So you said you, you're a mother, correct?
me. Yes, ma'am.
You're married. How many children do you have?
Three little ones.
Three little
My
ones.
yes,
What are their ages?
10, 7, and 4.
Okay, so definitely three little ones. Boys, girls.
I have two boys and one girl. So my oldest is 10 years old. He's a boy, and my 7-year-old is a boy, and my 4-year-old is a baby girl. So I'm complete.
Nice, nice. Great. So, all right, now let's transition. So you are a part of a book collaboration or a journal, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So
Super.
tell us a little bit about the journal.
Sure. Yeah, so I had to join forces with Miss Tiffany Bale. She's absolutely phenomenal. She's an amazing leader, and she has definitely brought this to fruition and brought everything together as far as getting this journal project with qualified women to really share their life's struggle, but to put a spin on it and talk about the affirmations, the things that you can say to really change your mindset and change the way you think and change your perspective. But this journal entry was absolutely amazing.
Great. So, well, you kind of just share with us, why you wanted to be a part of it. So, you decided you were going to join, you participated. And so the women that are in the journal had the option to participate by completing one affirmation or by completing many. And you went the route of completing many affirmations to contribute to the journal. The journal actually is a wonderful journal. It is well over 350 pages, and it's packed with affirmations as well as opportunities for you to journal as it relates to the different affirmations that are written within the book. So tell us a little bit about what the first one of your first affirmations, whichever one you choose.
Sure. I'm glad to, and I'm over excited to share. What I chose for my very first submission, it was simply a scripture. And the scripture is from James, chapter 2, verse 4, and 14. It says, what does it profit, my brother, if someone says they have faith but does not have works? Can faith save him? And so that has a direct correlation with without works is dead. So we know the importance of acting out in faith and doing things that push us towards our goal. But first, we have to have that faith that God is going to allow us to take off and sustain our minds and sustain um, what we are trying to direct, what we are trying to do. So I chose that one because it's so important. Of course, I put God ahead of, he's the head of my life. So I don't want to make any moves without first acknowledging and going to God with it. But I took on the opportunity as a network marketer, and I just thought, the floodgates would open, and everybody would run towards me. But that's not what it took. It took some work, and it took faith to know that everything that I'm working towards, once I trust in God and I put God first, I know that my works wouldn't go void, and my works would definitely be looked at and the be considered by other people, simply because it takes consistency, it takes persistency, and it takes influence. And of course, you want to have the good influence, and you want to have that positive influence. So of course, when we look for those things, we know that our eyes and our ears, that's exactly where the influence, how you are influenced personally. So why not motivate? Why not encourage? Why not uplift and inspire other women that are in similar situation from as myself? Just like I told you before, I did not complete college. I had, the odds stacked against me. Life was happening and life was tough. But guess what? I'm more than a conqueror. So I want Jesus Christ to be portrayed through every word that comes out of my mouth, and the impact in knowing that, once I have God first, I want to be able to impact the masses. So it's not just around my small circle. My circle and environment is everything, but my impact is greater than that. And so that's why I'm here. It's bigger than me.
Yes, it's bigger than all of us. Absolutely. So the first one was based on the premise of faith, faith being the thing that propels us and moves us. But beyond the faith, then you have to be willing to do the work to make sure that the two go together. So you have the faith, but then you have to be willing to put in the work to make it happen.
Absolutely.
So share with us another one.
Another one I have is tough times don't last, but tough people do. That was big because, just like I was describing before, life still happens and life has its way of kicking us down, but it does not last. It does not last. We have that confidence, not only that it doesn't last, but we have that confidence something greater is in the works. So let's go through that. The tough times, I'm ready for it. Prepare me with a full armor of God. Allow me to be equipped with the things that allow myself to allow my mind to be strengthened, and allow my body to be strengthened to withstand the tough times. Because when they happen, and they usually happens in a way that you don't like it to happen. But we got to get through it, and we will get through it. But we have to go. We have to have that mindset that it doesn't last.
Right. So for you, what is it you do to get yourself through those tough times? I mean, it's easy to say, well, it doesn't last and you'll get through it. But what do you do? What can you share with people? Something that you've done or that they can do that will help them to get through those tough times.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to share that. And it's so much, but I would like to say that when it comes to, tough times, and the enemy loves to attack you in the weakest form, right? So a lot of times the weakest form for myself is mental health. So if I'm being attacked spiritually or I'm verbally being attacked, okay, it's okay to shut down. It's okay to back away. It's okay to express your emotion. It's okay to feel. But what are you going to do? While you're feeling, are you praying? Are you complaining to someone else? Are you calling up your girlfriend and say, hey, girl, this is just what happened. I got to tell somebody. So it's all in how we deal with the tough times. A lot of times, if it's financial, get into the source, get into the reason why you're having a financial struggle. Like I could even talk about a financial struggle that my husband and I had. So we first got married. We were young. We had lived we purchased a foreclosed home. That foreclosed home went foreclosed again while we were living in it. And so through that whole process, we had to go to God and we had to really make our petitions known. We had to set everything on the table. And the source why the house went back in foreclosure was financial. So the financial hold up or the financial struggle, we had to reach out to different resources. And the resources that we have had has been we've gotten into a program where they help you with your credit, and then they help you purchase your first home. And so that was an absolute blessing, even in the midst of the hard times, because just like I said, we had 3 little ones at the time. It was 2. So it was just like, okay, God, this is not easy, but be open and transparent and talking to God directly and asking God for the smallest things. Like, of course, we want to go to God with prayer and we want to say all the right words and all the right things, but sometimes we just don't have the words to say. So it took faith in order for us. It took going to God and just letting him, I don't know what I need to say. I know I'm struggling. I know I'm falling. I know these financial issues are here, but I also had to do the work. So I had to find those resources. I had to find another option as far as housing. I had to find, so when things are tough and things get tough, but there's always a solution. It's always a solution. Are we positioning ourselves to really look for the solution, or are we simply just letting life happen to us? And that's where we don't want to be, because that's where stress and anxiety, that's where it starts to flow. And that's what interrupts your life.
Absolutely. All right. So share with us another one.
Okay. So another one is Success is a Journey, Not a Destination by Zig Ziglar. Oh, that
Okay.
was so good. Yeah. It was so good. It was so good because a journey of as an entrepreneur, we know there's ups and downs and we know things get tough, but we live in a society where it's a microwave. We can put things in a microwave, set a timer, ding, is done. But a lot of times when it comes to success, it doesn't happen that way. Every single person goes through their process, and their process looks different, and their process really evolves them as a person. But knowing that that process is just molding me to be a stronger and a better and a more successful person, and I can help someone else, yes, I'm definitely taking on my process. I'm going to go through this journey and I'm going to be able to come out on the other side with a testimony to really help someone else.
So you say, you talk about success is a journey. So for you, what is your definition of success?
That definition is, I can say that I'm still creating that. I'm still creating that mass, or that big picture. It's still with the business that I'm a part of. I know what success looks like. I know what a 6-figure income earner. I know what a millionaire, what their schedule looks like. I know, but what does it look like for Jessica? Even though knowing that success definitely is available to me, I know that getting to the success, to the ideal success, is not always clear. So what I do is write down an ideal image or what I want to achieve in life. I just write it down, put it on paper, and any way that I have something to refer to, I have something to look back to, and I have something to aspire to push towards. So the success is not clear. I could say that person super transparently. It's not clear. I know that, being a millionaire, what if God does not want me to be a millionaire? You know what I mean? And what if God doesn't want me to? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with going through the journey because it's going to help and impact so many other people. So what that success looks like is me being on this call today, because we're doing it and we're getting through that process. That's what success is. Accomplishing every goal with excellence. Be excellent.
I like that. So, of course, I don't know if you realize, but my company's name is Success Arise. So when you talk about success, that's something I get excited about. So for me, Success Arise was created to be able to help, particularly women, arise to that place of success. And for me, that place of success, especially as believers, is becoming everything it is that God created you to be. So, absolutely, it's not about comparing yourself to anyone else. And for you, yes, it could be becoming a millionaire. But if you become a millionaire, but you did not do what it is that God wanted you to do, for me, then you didn't achieve success, because
Right.
success is, again, achieving that very thing that you were created to do. And since God has created each and every single one of us with a specific plan and a specific purpose, then the success is being able to accomplish that specific plan and that specific purpose. And so, yes, it is a journey. The journey never ends, because the assignments and the things that God gives us while we're on that journey never ends, which is why you have to, as you said, stay in tune with God. You need to constantly be seeking him and looking at him. Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto thee. And so as we strive on this journey to success, the biggest part is making sure that we are becoming successful the way God wants us to, and not the way the world necessarily wants us to achieve success. Just have to plug that in.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that, because just like I was saying, like, I don't have a picture of what success look like. I never ideally, I never wrote down what ultimate success is. I just want to be used by God. So this is a success. Having this call is a success for me. It truly is.
Absolutely, because it is uniquely equipped and designed for you, I believe, to get to that next place. And so, again, people, we all wanted the one thing, and that's the other thing why I called it Success Arise, because ultimately everybody wants to be successful in life. But oftentimes people don't understand what it looks like. And you find that people spend so much time and energy trying to do what someone else is doing, when there is a whole wonderful plan that God has just made for you. And if you walk in that, not only will you become successful in it, but you will have so much peace and so much joy and that abundant life that God promised us when we decide that we want to walk in the success that God has for us individually.
Absolutely.
So that's a good one. The other ones were good too. I always talk about, as a coach, I always talk about the importance of having faith, but then after having the faith, be willing to do the work. So that one was good too, but it's just something about that success thing, because for me, like I said, everyone wants to be successful.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. They just often don't realize what that looks like or what that means.
Mm-hmm.
So Share with me another one.
Okay, another one is life is what you have, lifestyle is how you choose to live it. And that's by Orlando Moore, 6-star director within the Opportunity Planet Marketing. He made the statement 2 years ago, and it just stuck with me like glue. And life, yeah, we definitely have life. We have breath. We are breathing. We are here. But what are we doing with that? And it takes you to the mind of influence. Am I being an influence to others? Am I positively affecting others or positively speaking with others? So the lifestyle, you're gonna see the works that are happening. Why? Because I wear a smile. The lifestyle, the places that I want to go, I can go to those places. I'm gonna document it so you can see what that lifestyle looks like and what it looks like to not only travel like I want to, not only live how I want to, or live with the or live the blessed life. I would say that, but also to show the mercy God has given us and show the grace and the favor that God has given us. Every single adventure that we take is a blessing. How did we get there? I don't know, but we're here. We are here. And so every moment, it definitely you have to choose the lifestyle, but the only way you choose that lifestyle is by first allowing yourself or listening or opening your mind to other things out there besides what's in your living room. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, so lifestyle, that again, for me, that's a part of the success is, you know, what will people notice or recognize about you between those dashes? How will you be remembered? Achieving success is more than monetary. It's more than having items. It's also about the impact that you're having, and not impact like a influencer impact, but impact that really makes a difference in the world. As the word says, let your light shine before men that they may see your good works. So as believers, we have a responsibility to always try to, because we're imperfect, so we're not going to get it right all the time. But we have a responsibility, to try to live a life that is pleasing unto God, and that will show people, oh, this God must be special because look at them. Look at them. And it is absolutely a choice. It's a choice. Every day we get up, we have the choice to make as to how we want to live out our day, or how we're going to try to live out our day. And that's another reason why affirmations and prayer and meditation is so important as part of your daily routine when you get up in the morning, to set the tone and to set the atmosphere for the day. Because I do truly believe that life and death is in the power of the tongue, and so we can get up and pray and speak to that day, and I believe that it will have an impact and an influence on that day. But if we get up and we already in a rut because of whatever, we didn't get enough sleep, or it was just a bad day the previous day, and we carry that into the next day, we can make a decision at that moment when we get up and speak that those are words that affirm, what, today, Lord, you know, give me peace, give me clarity, give me joy, help me to get through this day in a positive way. Help me to be a light shiner. Help me to not be angry. Like, we have the power to make those decisions each and every single day that we wake up, but it's a decision. it,
yeah,
it, it's a
absolutely.
decision. So you're right. We have the power to choose how we are going to live out our lives each and every day. To a large extent, we don't have the power to necessarily change anything, and life happens, as you said, financial situations, sickness. but we have the power to decide how we are going to act or react to it. That's the
Yeah.
bottom line. It's the
Yeah.
bottom line. There's no other way to put it. You can decide how you're going to respond, which is interesting in light of the Oscars last night.
I,
You
you
know,
know, that was,
there's so many layers to that. And I look at it from so many different perspectives. I look at it, first of all, I look at it just as a fan, and what my expectation is as a fan. Then I look at it, as a believer, and I don't know where Will Smith is in that, so I can't necessarily speak to that, about showing grace, and if you have aught with your brother, take it up with him directly. So there's so many different things that come to my mind. I think about it from a leadership perspective. What did you just demonstrate through that behavior, knowing that you are viewed as a leader, whether or not you like it or not, you are viewed as a leader. So, again, it's about choices. It's about choices. He chose to do what he did, and some people agree and some people disagree. But at the end of the day, will that tarnish the very thing that you worked so hard for your whole career? The Oscars is not, something insignificant. It's major. It's, like the biggest accolades you can get, in the entertainment arena as an actor. And will, people to some degree, at least for a while, will remember that slap over that award.
mm,
And so, are you shining then? Or
mm.
have you kind of tarnished it because of that? So, yes, absolutely. It's a journey. And every day we got to get up and we got to pray and we got to ask God, like, you know what? Help us to do better. Help us to do right, so that we can continue to be light shiners in the world that definitely needs it. So I
Absolutely.
think you have one more.
Yeah, so I did a list of deep dive questions. And that was the questions were what are you doing daily to complete your task? How do you typically balance life outside of work? Are you consumed with other people's lifestyle that you never stop to fulfill your goals and ambitions? Are you a dreamer? How does it make you feel to dream but never put in the work required to fulfill it? So it was a ton of questions that really gets you to think, that really gets you to write down your deepest feelings and deepest emotions. And I chose to do questions there because um, it was an option to do questions, and it just encourages you as a leader and as a successful person or on your journey of success to really evaluate yourself and evaluate where you need to be or what do you want to do, like what are you doing daily to help you complete your task. Have you really thought about that? Well, if you do not think about that, then how can you say you are successful? How can you be in your successful zone or your winning zone or whatever zone you want? How can you be effective if you never ask yourself that and you never really did the work? Is coming back to faith without works is dead. So also, what do you typically do to balance life outside of work? What do you do? Because if you never really sat down and answered that question, you just let life happen and you're just a extra in that movie when you should be the film writer. You should have full control over how and why you allow certain things to happen within your day. Does things pop up that you have no control over? Absolutely. But what are you doing? Are you jumping back to your task list and completing those tasks to so you'll have a completed day after whatever happens. I know sometimes I love to decompress. Like, something crazy happens. I know, I get all, super excited, like, whoo, whoo, that just knocked me out for the count. But I had to really I have to literally shake myself, like, get your head in the game. Get back to what you originally needed to do in the first place. But it's contingency plans, they're amazing, but you still have to go back to your place of focus, your place of zoning, I would say. And the next one is, how do you typically balance your life outside of work? Um, I asked that question because I'm trying to find out exactly what a perfect balance is. What I've discovered, there's no balance. Is it good to have a task list? Absolutely. But when it comes to balancing, it's it's tough, and it's virtually impossible, especially when it comes to my business. But one thing I can control is that when I talk to my family, I'm in agreement with my family. If I do have a phone call, or if I do have to set aside for time, I can verbally let them know, so we're in agreement. Does it fit all the time? Absolutely not. Does it work? It can be super inconvenient at times, but agreement is important. So giving women the opportunity to answer that however they see fit is so necessary. And
Yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah, I was
go
going to
ahead.
say,
I'm
so yeah, so self-reflection is definitely important to anything, whether you're talking about a relationship, whether you're talking about a business or just your personal life. It's really important to take inventory of yourself and see where you're at, because if you don't, then you often will miss the opportunity for growth and the ability to be able to move forward. And like I said, whatever the area is, balance is something that I talk about a lot. I truly believe it is important to find balance in your life, in all areas of your life, every single area of your life. The whole premise of when I started originally coaching was about pretty much achieving a balanced life, spiritually, physically, financially, emotionally. Because what happens when and of course, things will never be perfectly in balance, but we always need to be able to do that self-reflection that, I just mentioned, that you mentioned. Because what happens is, when there is one area that is too far out of balance, then everything begins to get out of balance, no matter what that is. And so you can have a situation where you're spending too much time at work. Now, it may seem like, okay, but I'm doing this to pay the bills. But then the relationships that you have, whether it be with your husband or your kids, will then be out of balance. So then maybe you're like, okay, well, now I'm going to balance my kid and family life, my husband life. But then you do that, and now you're neglecting the business. And so it's always a process, as you said, that revolves reflecting and analyzing, and pretty much always determining, okay, where do I need to shift? What do I need to do differently? It's a constant, ongoing balancing act, but it's something that is necessary because, again, if one area ever goes too far out of whack, it affects every area. Even when we talk about finances, usually that's something that people can identify with. Finances not only affects your finances, but it affects you emotionally, and it affects you physically, because when your finances are not in order, as you mentioned, you start to get stressed. And then when you get stressed, then your body has a physiological response. And then the next thing you know, you might be eating too much, or you might be eating too little, or you might be getting headaches. So then now you have some medical issues. You can't sleep. So all of these things are intertwined, which is why it's really important to always consider finding that balance in your life. Just had to add that one in there too.
that was perfect. Look, I'm over here like, okay, I need to get some balance.
You definitely do. And like I said, it's not an easy process. For me, I have a very, very busy life. I have two businesses that I run, technically three. My husband takes the lead on one of them more. And so that's why I say, like, technically three. I also have a ministry that I'm, pretty active, my own ministry that's revolving around women and business. Then I have this, that I do on a weekly basis. So
Mhm.
my schedule, and I provide coaching and counseling services through, pretty much throughout the week. So there's a lot going on. And the more, see, this is the thing about success and walking in your purpose. The more I get to where it is I feel I need to be, the more important it is actually to make sure I have balance. Because if I don't, and I end up focusing on one thing too much, it can become very much problematic in the
Yeah.
other areas. And so, keeping a calendar, writing everything down, prioritizing things in your life. You know what? This is what has to be done today, but this doesn't have to be done today. So I've learned to do what it is that has to be done for the day. And what I don't get done, even if it's something that was relatively important, I've learned not to really stress over it. I put it to the top of the list for the next day. And then that's the thing that I go to do. Because if not, then I start stressing. And then, you know what? Dinner is not cooked or something else is not done. And it just causes me to just be totally out of whack. And I don't like that. So I've worked really, really hard, particularly the last 2 years, um, to really try to make sure that everything is in balance as much as it could be.
Hmm. Yes, absolutely. And I agree with you 100%. And when it comes to the task list and handling what's most important, um, that is a part of what balancing looks like. And the part I struggle with as far as balance is the my the lot. It's hard to put it together, but I would say um understanding God, your family, and then business, that order, and making sure I keep that order. So when that order is off, then I'm off, I'm super stressed out. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overworked. And it has been times where I just shut down from everybody. And did that negatively affect me? Absolutely. But one thing I know is that God is forgiving, and I'm able to redo that same mistake. I'm able to redo it every morning because new mercies are renewed every single morning. So I have an opportunity to get it right the next day, the next moment, in any situation, that next situation, I'm able to do it better than I did the last time. So balance, I'm not an expert, but I know the tools. It's one thing to know the tools and really use the tools and effectively work what you know, but it's another thing to allow yourself to go through those or to go through those times and not allow yourself to stay on task and stay on, I would say, priority list. But balance things is touchy. But I know if it gets off whack, then we all jacked up.
It's a process. It's not something that happens overnight. It is definitely a process. But I already know that for you, you'll improve at it and you'll get better at it because it's anything that you make a priority and make the effort to change, God's going to meet you there.
Yeah.
So the fact that you want to find balance and that is a priority, he's going to meet you. He's going to make it happen, and you're going to do the work, as you said, necessary for it to come into balance. It's never going to be perfect. It's still not perfect with me. I know that it never will be. But as long as we're trying, as long as we're putting in the work, as long as we understand, what, God first and then everything after, then you know what, he's going to work with us. and it's going to get better. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. It's going to get a little bit easier. Then
Yeah.
there'll be times, you know what, you might have been going really good, and then one thing can throw you off. Literally, one little thing can throw you off, but it's okay. Like you said, there's grace. So we just try to put things back into order. That's when we stop and we reflect and we say, okay, God, you know, where did I go off? What went wrong? We get it together, and we get back on track. That's all we can do.
Yes.
That's all we can do. We cannot try to even achieve perfection, because we're not going to be perfect, but we can strive to do better each and every day. And that, to me, is the key, whether we're talking about business or anything else. Success is about being better than you were the day before, not better than somebody else. It's being better than you were the day before.
Yeah.
That's achieving success.
Yeah. 1% better every day.
Listen,
That's
I
success.
hope to live a long life. So you know what? Even if it's not 1%, even if it's a fraction of a percent, you
Yeah.
know what? Just let me try to get better. That's the goal. Help me to get better.
Yeah.
Help me to get better, even if it's just a little bit better. Today, be better than I was yesterday.
Absolutely.
So before we close out, can you share with me, a little bit about your travel business and how people can find you, and your social media?
Sure. So I am a network marketer in the business of travel. I'm with Planet Marketing. Also, in Planet Marketing, I have the ability to sell travel agencies. Within IntelliTravel, I'm able to book vacations. I just sent a couple on a honeymoon. So it's absolutely amazing. My social media, I use Facebook a lot. So Jessica Toodle, Facebook, Instagram, Jessica Travel Toodle. My web, let's see, what I have a TikTok now. I'm super excited about but Jessica Toodle 3 on TikTok. You can email me, Jessica Toodle at gmail.com. You get the gist. It's pretty straight to the point. But also my website for booking travel is jessicatoodle.intellitravel.com. So if anything, if you would love to contact me, I would love to speak with you, book that amazing vacation. And if you say, I'm ready to be in business for myself, I'm ready to work for myself, and I'm ready to share with you an opportunity for the ordinary person to earn extraordinary income. And we're on this journey together, and you're a part of my family. So now I'm excited for the journey, and I'm definitely pushing towards helping the masses. It's not just me. It's not just about me. It's just not. It's giving others an opportunity to do the same thing that I'm doing. So of course I want to share it, right? So that's how you can reach out to me.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for sharing the affirmations. I do believe that, the information was great in terms of, being on this journey and being on this journey to achieving success. It does require hard work. It requires faith. It requires patience. It requires a lot. But you know what? God has equipped us to be able to do it, as long as we keep our faith and our trust in Him, and we're willing to put in the work. So I thank you for coming on and for sharing with us. And be blessed. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. This was an amazing broadcast. I'm just excited about it. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, friend.
I have a question for you. Are you tired of being stuck? Are you tired of year after year making goals and plans to accomplish something, and it just doesn't seem to happen? Are you tired of not being supported in your dreams and your goals and your vision? Well, I have an opportunity for you. I want you to consider becoming a member of Success Arise Academy. This is a membership that is designed with you in mind. It provides education, inspiration, and transformation for you to be able to achieve those goals and become everything it is that God has created you to be. This is a membership program designed for women to be able to also come together and encourage and support one another. So if this sounds like something that you're looking to be a part of, I want you to visit www.successarise.com because it is time for you to move from stuck to unstoppable. Welcome to the entertainment portion of Kingdom News. And so last week, my interview with Apostle Willie Eman took up most of the show, and it was such a great interview. So I'm a little behind, but you know who and what has been the topic for the last almost 2 weeks in the entertainment news. Yes, it was what went down at the Oscars. But before I get into all of that, let's first talk about the fact that this was the year that African Americans were highlighted as part of the Oscars. So this year we had Will Packer as the director who took on that responsibility. And there were also a host of other African Americans that took on major roles in this year's Oscar Awards ceremony. And so it was an exciting time for us because we were feeling pretty happy about the progress that we believed was being made for us or is being made for us within the entertainment world. We know that it has been a struggle. When you think about the Oscars and you think about the movies and the categories and who's been nominated, and even when we have received nominations and actually received Oscars, many times they've been for roles that are not necessarily the most positive roles. So again, there was a lot of excitement and a lot of buzz around this year's Oscars. Now, I gotta be honest with you, I don't really keep up with the Oscars. I don't really watch the show. I haven't really watched it. And honestly, wasn't really watching it this year. Excited for what was happening, but that's not just, really what I enjoy watching. However, right before I went to bed, I saw this news flash come across on my phone because I get the news. And it said that Will Smith had smacked Chris Rock on the Oscars. And of course, I thought, you know what, this must be a joke. This can't be real. And you know what, there's a part of me that still believes this cannot be real. So moving along, we come to find out this supposedly really happened. And it's all the results of Chris Rock making a statement toward Will's wife, Jada Pinkett, in reference to her bald head, saying that she would be able to star in G.I. Jane 2. Now, for those of you, I'm sure you know by now, that was a movie about a lady who was in the military. She shaved her head. And so the reference was to the movie and, comparing her to the actress in the movie. So let's fast forward from that. So there's been this whole debate about who was right and who was wrong, whether Will was right, whether Chris was right, whether they were both wrong, whether they were both right. Listen, at this point, this is what I know for sure. Life is about choices and consequences. That's the bottom line. And so at a moment when Will, who has worked long and hard in his acting career, whether you like him or you don't, you know what? He has been in some of the top movies. One of my favorites, Independence Day. Yes, one of my favorite movies, all-time favorite movies. He has been in some amazing movies. He has been cast in some amazing roles. And so I was excited and I was appreciative of the fact that he was nominated for a role that represented something positive. And so when he had that chance to shine and to really represent
He missed the moment. Again, I'm not going to talk about right or wrong. I'm just going to say he missed the moment. And as a result of him missing the moment, there are going to be consequences. Listen, we could talk about we need to extend grace and God extends grace to us and all of that. First of all, we don't even know where Will Smith stands as a believer or not. That's the first thing. The second thing is, yes, God extends grace to us each and every day, and I'm so grateful that he does. But the reality is, even in the midst of his grace and his mercy, there's always still consequences for our actions. And so, unfortunately, Will Smith, in under 2 weeks, is already starting to feel the consequence of his actions. And now he's saying that he is going to go into some long-term therapy. And this is what I have to say on that. You just came to the conclusion that you needed to be in therapy. You just came to the conclusion that there were some ongoing, unresolved issues that you needed to deal with so that you could become the best version of yourself that you could be. Stop. His decision to now go into therapy is simply about PR. You are a man with a lot of money and a lot of resources and a lot of friends who I would be surprised if no one ever said anything to you like, hey man, you might want to go into therapy, you might want to deal with some of this stuff. No one ever said anything to you. And you, as someone who I consider to be relatively knowledgeable, smart guy, never considered prior to this that with all that was going on in the media, all that was going on in your personal life, that you needed to be in some serious therapy. So I congratulate him, and I'm happy that he's deciding to do it now. I just hope that he goes in and does it for the right reasons. I hope that he goes in there and that he begins to do the hard work of healing from his past hurts, from healing from his current hurts, and he can really become the person, his best person, the best version of himself, the best version of who he is supposed to be. And the lesson I take from this, and the lesson that I have been kind of stating and saying over and over again in reference to this, is people, take time to heal. If you know that you are angry, if you know that you have some issues that are unresolved, go seek counseling. Because Denzel Washington said it, you know what? It is at your greatest moment that the devil will come and try to knock you down. Well, you know what? Not only is that true, but sometimes it's in your not so great moments too. But I say this, we can have fewer moments like that if we do the hard work and we do what's necessary to begin the process of healing. So that is my 2 cents. And congratulations to Samuel Jackson. Congratulations to all the winners. Congratulations to all of those who took part in making this a particularly special Oscars night, representing African Americans. Despite what happened, you know what? It's still overall a good night in terms of where we are going as a people in Hollywood. So kudos to everyone. And so my closing remarks are real simple. If you're struggling with something, if you're having a hard time dealing with something, yes, we can always go to God in prayer, because God hears us and he answers our prayer. But beyond prayer, God tells us that there must be some work done. Faith without work is dead. And so we must be willing to do the hard work, the difficult work of digging deep, of figuring out what our issues are, those unresolved issues, so that we can be the best that we can be, the best that we're supposed to be, who God created us to be. Remember, we are royalty, a chosen people, and so we need to act accordingly. So I thank you for tuning into another episode of Kingdom News. I am your host, Gwen Goolsby Tillery. Once again, thank you, and I hope to see you next week.